Hello and welcome to Men Behind the Curtain, the podcast about everything and nothing all at once. I am Pitt.
I'm Eli. Hope y'all are doing all right. If you're in Ohio, it did what I knew it was going to do, and the temperature fell down again. I currently have 3 space heaters running right now, and I will not be working out here this week.
I'm in my living room.
I know Wednesday is actually going to get up to 50, but I'm like, fuck it. I'm not going to move my shit back and forth 2 days here, 3 days here. No, I'm just going to move everything into my daughter's room. She ain't using it.
Well, this is typical of Ohio. You get the nice warm up in February, and then as soon as it gets close to March, we get another fucking blizzard. So I don't. To me, it's like one of those things. Like this happens every fucking year.
Yeah.
Why is it? Why is it? Something just happened. I hit my laptop and everything's all staticky now. Much better. That was okay. Fucking weird. Hello, and we are back.
Yep. So, we were just talking about how Ohio does this every fucking year, and for some reason, some people are always shocked at that.
The one thing I am new to in Ohio, particularly living down here, is fucking tornadoes in February. That's something new. I mean, March made sense because winds pick up and clashing of cold and warm weather fronts, but fucking February.
Yeah, I didn't get the alerts here, but I did see people online talking about it. So I guess it just stayed out of our area, or maybe I just didn't hear.
This was me.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care. And I put my phone back up. And it wasn't until my wife's like, hey, the tornado sirens are going off. I'm like, fuck. And then it was like one of those things. It took about 10, 15 minutes to get downstairs, get the animals wrangled up, and the siren stopped. And I was like, fuck. Because now I got to get them back upstairs and try to go back to bed.
Hey, you know what? Completely unrelated to anything, but since you brought up, because I know you have, multiple cats and dogs. So, do you have this issue with your pets? Like, so my cats, specifically Duchess, has the fucking nerve to have preferences when we give them treats and shit. So my wife got, the little treats, we've had like Friskies and Meow Mix and shit like that. She doesn't like those. She only likes the Bonkers ones. And today, my wife gave her that, and she's still fucking meowing because she wants wet food. Like, who the fuck gave you the audacity?
So Mazikeen, the all black, she doesn't like treats. We try to give her all sorts. Like, she'll do tuna as a treat, but like we'll do like the little, the squeeze ones where they come out and the liquors. Yeah, she doesn't stand them. Now Nova, the orange and white, will wake my ass up in the morning at 5 to come give him fresh food, even though his food bowl is full. So I will give him fresh food. And then an hour later, he will be trying to get into the container that we keep the food, because the food that was in his bowl put there an hour ago is not fresh enough. And this is dry food. This is dry food, mind you. So, and I've got some, I've got one that the white and black Zuri, she likes hamburgers. She loves hamburgers. Like, you can rip off a piece of hamburger and she will devour it. Nova's basically a shark. He'll eat fucking anything. Archer, he's different. I mean, you'll try to give him like raw ground beef, he'll turn his nose up at it. Try to give him, shredded chicken, he'll turn his nose up at it. But as soon as you start pouring water into the fucking bowl, he's trying to lick it as it's being poured out, and he'll even slap the water to make sure there's like nothing in there that will kill him, knowing that his fucking water dish is like an inch depth. So yeah, and we won't go into Zeus and Mooney and Twix, because again, they're all different, and I feel like I'm forgetting a cat. I feel like I'm forgetting one. Now we won't go into the dogs because they're just stupid.
It's funny because I know, like, so our previous cat Lily, we adopted her at 9. We adopted her at 2. She died when she was about 9. We gave her a deli meat turkey one fucking time. And from then on, she would walk into the kitchen. Nobody's in the kitchen. She walks into the kitchen and starts meowing. So she starts begging for it. And again, this little shit had preferences. She liked Walmart turkey. She did not like Aldi's turkey. I don't remember if she liked Kroger or not. But again, I'm like, who the fuck gave you the audacity?
Well, it's like we got home last night, and those the Potchkis, the Polish jelly donuts they served during some Christian week and whatnot. So there were 2 boxes on the counter because the wife absolutely loves them. Me, it's take it or leave it. I mean, it's just a jelly donut, a little more dense. So we come home and I kick something and it slides underneath the dry sink. And I'm like, what the fuck did I just? And I'm looking, trying to see if I can see anything. And the wife gets down, she gets it out. And here it's an entire, like the box of Potchki, completely empty. Well, there were 2 of them on the fucking counter in the kitchen. And apparently the dogs now know how to unlock the fucking gate and get into the kitchen. And both Loki and Freya ate the Potchki.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, I'm just glad it wasn't a chocolate Potchki. Because are you wearing gloves?
It's colder out here.
Can you give me a hee-hee?
Well, it's on both hands, so it doesn't quite work with.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, actually, it's funny. So when we first got our cats, so we adopted them at 2 months old. I don't remember anything saying that they were strays, but they might have been. I know Duke has like the littlest tiny curve at the end of his tail, like something broke it, like right at the tip. Duchess, so our first grocery run after we get the cats, we get like one of those big boxes of like Krispy Kreme donuts because they don't have Krispy Kremes here anymore, which fuck y'all.
I'm okay with that.
Well, we just got the plain ones, not like any of the assorted, nothing like that. And Duchess tore through the fucking plastic window and was eating one of the donuts at 2 months old. I'm like, what told you that this was food?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because Nova, we'll go grocery shop, we'll get produce, and we'll have like the like the spinach and all the leafy greens. And that fucker, more than Archer likes to eat plastic and tape, will come up and he will start chewing on the leafy greens. And it's like, dude, you're a cat. You're carnivorous. I have a vegan cat. It's fucking ridiculous.
That's fucking hilarious. But I guess that just goes to show that when people say that they're just like us, that's not entirely untrue. It is manifested in weird ways.
Yeah, I was watching a video earlier because you know how your cat will reach out and put its paw on you. Yeah.
Yes.
It was on TikTok. And that'd be about like a 5-6 minute long video. I'm actually surprised I was able to get through it with its length. And it was going through the science of and the emotional and mental responses as to why a cat would do that. Like they're marking you because apparently they have scent glands on their paws. So they're marking you, being like, hey, this is mine, stuff like that. But it's also because it's something they were taught from their mother early on and stuff like that. So it's ingrained in them. And it was a really interesting video. And maybe because Archer will come up, I'll be sleeping or I'll just be laying down. He'll come up and be like, like right on my face. And the thing is As much as I love him, he's a pain in the ass because he will start kneading like right by my eye, and just the tip of his claws, it's like ah.
So,
which is why he is the catastrophe.
so my cats haven't kneaded on my face, but they do it pretty much anywhere else. Duke likes to get literally the moment that I lay down on the bed, which will happen almost every day after work. You know, I come in, I kick my shoes off, I might take my shirt off, I lay on the bed, immediately right on my fucking chest. And when I say right on my chest, I mean up here toward my neck. And this motherfucker is 13 goddamn pounds.
Well, if you want, I can drop Nova on your chest. He's about a good old 25.
Jesus Christ.
Well, he's part Maine Coon, so I was half expecting it, but
okay, that actually does make sense.
Zuri, on the other hand, I don't know why she weighs like 20 pounds, other than the fact that she's got junk in her trunk. I mean, honestly, her attitude, the way she walks, the way she, holds herself and stuff like that. She is the Hispanic woman of cats. Kind of like how Archer is the Mark Wahlberg of the animal kingdom. Hey guys, how you doing? You want to be friends? Come on, let's be friends. Hey, why are you hitting me? Why are you hitting me? Ow, don't do that. That hurts. Why are you doing that? I just want to be your friend.
Yeah. I typically refer to Duke as cat dog because he has a lot of dog-like traits, specifically the way that he just dotes for affection. He'll just follow you. I go in, if I just walk into the bedroom, he'll hop right up and he just stares up at you, just waiting for pets.
All right, so for those of you that are listening, watching, and whatnot, you'll notice we're going through non-typical type of banter. It's been a slow week in the entertainment industry, and politics are pretty much not changing. They're staying the same bullshit. But one thing we did want to talk about is I had mentioned in last week's episode, aliens. Now, I don't know if you happen to see the interview with, President Obama, where he was talking with Tyler. I can't remember the guy's first name.
Brandon Tyler Cohen, or his last name is Cohen.
Okay.
I don't remember what the fuck is his name. Brian Tyler Cohen. Yeah.
Okay. So he asked President Obama a question about aliens, and Obama nonchalantly says, "Well, they're out there," and then elaborate. He's like, "Well, there was nothing specific given to me, but this was, and I don't do it very well, Obama. It's like the only way I can do Obama is like, listen." And the only way you can follow up listen is with Linda, and that's not Michelle's name, so we can't do that.
Yeah, the only way you can do a decent Obama impression, you have to do a lot of filler, just like that kind of shit. So,
yeah. Well, he's got this cadence. It's this almost like iambic pentameter cadence, like da 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 da. It's like when I was president, Michelle and I, when she started the garden, which is no longer there. But yeah, so apparently, from the words of probably one of the best presidents to ever run this nation, regardless of how you feel, he was one of the better ones, if not the best, has let it be known that there are aliens. And now we have Velveeta Voldemort saying he is going to release the A-Files. And the A-Files are the wrong Val file that we want released. However,
yeah,
it's... And I'm cool with releasing those files, but let's release all files that we need to release. But it's interesting because if these are released, I really want to see, being the huge sci-fi nerd that I am, I really want to see what these files have in them and where do we go from there.
Yeah, I am honestly of the opinion. It so first of all, as far as the existence of aliens, I have kind of had the opinion for a very long time. To quote, I believe it was the Jodie Foster movie Contact. She's talking to her dad, and he says, "If there's nothing out there, it's a huge waste of space." And that's kind of the way that I've always approached it. I find it very, very difficult to believe that there's no other sentient life out there. However, what I will say, um, we're probably lucky that they have not visited us, because if they visit us and if they are not friendly, we are hilariously outgunned because we can't find them, but they can find us. That means we're fucked if they're hostile.
Yeah. So
Um,
my thinking is, and I go along more along like Neil deGrasse Tyson, where the probability that alien life in the universe exists, it's yes, there are specific scientific measures that are required for a rock to produce life, such as Earth. You know, the whole astronomical unit of AU. Like the Earth is 1 AU from the sun. And we're not going to go into how far that is because it's very far. But the sun is of a specific size and it emits specific light, energy, and radiation, which places Earth in a very prime location to create life for bacteria and everything to grow. However, it is ludicrous to feel that there is not another spot in our universe, not to mention any other universe out there, that doesn't meet those same requirements. Now, regardless if it's the distance, regardless if it's the size of that star in relation to the distance away for that planet and the size of that planet, the conditions out there are highly probable.
I think they found a couple. I believe they've actually found, other quote unquote sister planets that could actually sustain life as we know it. And I want to be very, very specific on that phrasing, as we know it, because if we're talking about the existence of aliens, who the fuck knows what their biological requirements are?
Yeah, and a lot of people will, they want to sit there, and a lot of people will say, "Oh, they're humanoid," and that's great in fantasy and sci-fi. I mean, Star Trek explained it away why every alien race was, or the majority of every alien race was humanoid.
Yeah,
They explain that away, and it's possible, but I'm not looking. I'm expecting aliens. They could be light. They could be some kind of liquid. They could be rock for all we know, and they may come in like 6 legs, 8 legs, one leg. They may slither like a snake. Who knows? Now we're getting into the whole Illuminati and this snake worshippers and shit like that.
well, and I'm also of the opinion, yes, Star Trek did offer a explanation for it, which, for those of you who are not as knowledgeable about it, the short version is that there was a species that went out there and did a lot of fucking and intermixing, and they all had the same basic blueprint, which is why a lot of them came out as humanoid. I think that's also driven by the fact that it's easier to cast characters as long as they're humanoid. Like, all you have to do is put some prosthetics on them, which, by the way, the more that I look at Saru in Discovery, the weirder he is. So, one of the first things that I picked up on his character is the way his arms will just sway behind him.
Yeah.
And the first time that I picked up on it, I can't unsee it. Um, and I just noticed the other day, I don't know if they've ever done too many like full body shots of Saru. Um, but
So yeah, no,
he has a weird way
continue.
of stand. He has a really fucking weird way of standing. It's almost like fucking horse legs or something. He stands on. For us, it would be like the ball of your. Actually, no, it's the ball. I think is your heel. It's almost like he's on his toes, or it's almost like you're wearing heels. He's just on that. Oh shit!
Go back to bed now. Go bed.
Damn, that was a ruckus.
Well, Mazikeen finally came out of the dining room kitchen area, and Loki saw her, and Loki's like, and he wanted to play. So, but anyway, back to Saru. The flowing of the arms, the walking, the mannerisms, and as you can see, I don't know if you've gotten to that episode yet, but they do visit Saru's home planets through like flashbacks and stuff like that.
He's already like met his sister and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So majority of that was a conscious decision, mannerism wise, by the actor Doug Jones, who plays Saru. So a lot of that was his own creation into the character, which kind of like with Michael Dorn playing Worf in The Next Generation, led way to more Klingon lore and stories to develop the Klingon Empire. So with what they did with Doug Jones, they allowed him to bring such a character to life to the point of where Kelpians have this whole history that is now included into the Star Trek canon. All basically created by Doug Jones, and going from there, it's kind of like Armin Shimmerman with who's the Ferengi that on Deep Space Nine?
Neelix?
Quark. Yeah.
No, Neelix was the bartender. Neelix was the bartender.
Yeah, on Voyager. Yeah. So kind of like with Armin Shimmerman with Quark when developing the Ferengi and things of that nature. So that Doug Jones was allowed great room to develop such a character.
I actually really like that they give them that freedom because, and this is just my interpretation. This is what I'm assuming happened. But when Doug Jones does shit like that, it helps to, I guess, add to the alienness of Saru, that he adds those weird little mannerisms and everything. And they're subtle, which is one thing that I really, really like about it. It was a while before I saw it. And to give you an idea where I'm at, Burnham, she just had the quorum on Navarre, and where she was asking for the SB19 data.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at in season 3. Also, real quick, first of all, I love that they brought Oded Fair into this, or I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Also, and I mean this as platonically and heterosexual as I can, but honestly, the gray is a good look on him. It really is. Like my first exposure to him, of course, was The Mummy and Deuce Bigelow, and I know he had a role in some of the other Resident Evil movies, which were fucking garbage. But like, I like him in this. Like, it fits him really well.
Yeah, well, he comes back in Star Trek Starfleet Academy.
Okay.
Which is catching a lot of flack from some viewers for being too woke.
It's fucking Star Trek.
Yeah, so Star Trek has been woke since day one. Number two, a lot of it is surrounding a Klingon character named Jaden, who happens to not follow the Klingon code of honor as far as battle and glory. He seeks honor through healing others and providing service to make people better. He's a science officer. He also happens to be gay.
Okay.
Exactly. Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
so
throughout
so
the history of, yeah. Well, and that's my thing. It's throughout the history of Star Trek, regardless of somebody's sexual identity, somebody's gender, somebody's, presenting of themselves, none of it mattered. I mean, if you watch the very first episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, you will see men walking down the corridor wearing like the long shirts that are basically skirts. Big fucking whoop. I thought it was odd because at this time I was like, 87, so I was 12 years old, and it just threw me for a loop. And it's like, hey, I used to wear my dad's t-shirts like that running around the house when I was 5 and 6. it looks fucking comfortable as shit. So for me, it was just kind of odd that it's like, hey, these guys are walking around just their fucking shirts. This is great. This now gives me precedence to do around my fucking house with people around. So all this hate coming to Star Trek because it's too woke. Wake the fuck up, people. Get off your fucking high horse and shut the fuck up. You don't know anything what Star Trek is about.
Well, and it actually, with Klingons, I think it makes more sense because, like, in Klingon culture, like, you could be fighting or fucking. So having a same-sex couple actually kind of makes a lot of sense, to be honest.
Well, I mean, shit, pirates did it back, during the 1400s. You had crew members that were actually basically a spouse when you were out, pillaging and doing whatever it is while you're on the seas. You had, and it was widely accepted.
I mean, better the crewmate than a fucking manatee, which that happened too, but we're not going to go down that rabbit hole.
That's another episode.
Right. But no, that's the dumbest shit. Like, yeah, when people say like, oh, it's woke, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, do you not understand the idea of, Starfleet and the universe? Like, they don't have money in Star Trek. They're communists. Like, I don't fucking know. And like, yes, they are actual fucking, for you uneducated fucks, they are literal communists in the real definition of the word, not what you've been told communism means, because the root of the word communism comes back to the word community, which is about people taking care of one another. Star Trek, they are literal fucking communists. So,
yeah, and then you get the Ferengi who represent capitalism, but
yeah, which fuck them. I always thought it was weird with Quark. I forget who his love interest was, but like when she would like rub the top of his head, which looked weirdly like boobs, and like it was weird.
Get the lobes, get the lobes.
But yeah, I do know. But yeah, so getting back to what we were saying, like with aliens and all this other shit, like, yeah, and of course it's a distraction. He wants to release the unredacted. Oh, I was going to say this, and I got way off topic. So imagine that.
Gee, I wonder how that happened.
But I have two plausible theories about why in all of these thousands of years, why there's not been like widespread alien presence. Either it's like Men in Black, where they have been here the entire fucking time. And let's be honest, if you've seen Donald Trump's parents, I could actually believe that. Or it's kind of like Star Trek in that they don't interact with a species until they have hit a certain point of evolution. And honestly, both of those theories I think are plausible and could make sense. But yeah, I refuse to think that this is the only rock.
Yeah, and my thing is there could be another one, as in they are well aware of our existence and don't want anything to do with us after several centuries of observation. I mean, there's also the concept that basically Earth was what Australia was at one point in time, a penal colony.
Is actually a really...
Yeah, maybe we were the species on another planet that completely tried to take over like we're kind of doing with Earth, and we were dumped here so we didn't wipe out some other planet with our over aggressiveness and achieving as much as we possibly can.
That's actually a really fun conspiracy theory that I like, and it's probably my favorite. Completely out?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you now. It's like cutting it out.
Like
it's delayed.
But okay. So, but yeah, and I know that I like to joke around that, aliens probably just They lock the doors when they fly past Earth, which honestly I can't blame them. Um, I wouldn't want to fuck with us either. I keep trying to tell them, come get me off this ghetto ass rock, but nobody will return my calls. um, although, so, I did want to acknowledge we got a rare W this week from the Supreme Court. Did you hear about this?
Yeah. I'm still trying to assess whether or not I was dreaming this because it doesn't seem real.
So, two things happen from here. And you know what? Let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. So, our cunt of the week is going to be the person who that pick was inspired by. We'll just put it that way. Because, first of all, if you didn't hear the news, the Supreme Court actually slapped down Trump's tariffs, at least the way that he's doing it, which I think is the IEPA or whatever. They're
Yeah.
saying that he is applying them unconstitutionally. Now, at the time he got this news, he was in a breakfast or some kind of meeting with like the Republican governors and crashed the fuck out. Um, but he also gave, with the midterms being 9 months away, actually eight and change, he gave the Democrats the absolute best piece of advertisement they can run, because he said, "I can destroy the country if I want to, but I can't charge a little fee." I'm sorry, if I'm the opposition, I'm running that clip constantly.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of the midterms, what the fuck? This timeline. Did you happen to see that video I sent you like yesterday or day before?
Depends on which video, because I've been this week has been like crazy, and
So
just got caught up on videos today.
So Nick fucking Fuentes, the self-described Nazi, the guy who had a basic hard-on when fucking Elon Musk.
That video, yeah.
This is the guy who basically had a hard-on over Elon Musk doing a goddamn Sig Heil, which that was not a "my heart goes out to you." That was a whole ass fucking Sig Heil. And when Nazis say that it was a Sig Heil, that was a goddamn Sig Heil. But I digress. This motherfucker said he is telling his viewers, the incel group, which by the way, he is an actual incel. He's like 24, 25, and he's a fucking virgin. I'm not shaming him for being a virgin, but like, that's not a flex at the same time. Like, not when you're like the figurehead incel. But anyway, I digress again. But he is telling his people, do not vote in the midterms. Let the Republicans lose. Fuck them. Now, he goes on to say that he wants more radical ideology to be pushed, but the fact that he like let them lose, fuck them, like, what is this timeline that we're in? This is the most confusing shit.
Well, actually, we have 2 W's this week, and the other one's coming from, of all places, the Ohio State University. Now,
I didn't hear this one.
And everybody knows. Okay, so most people know that I am not an Ohio State sports fan. I'm not a college sports fan. I have my own reasons for that, and we won't go into discussion here because you'll probably hate me and change the channel. But students across the campus, and there has been a motion put to the board by several individuals and businesses and other community members. There are people across campus. I'm not going to say if they're students, not going to say they're faculty, because I honestly don't know who's doing it, but they are crossing out the W or the name in full of anything on buildings, such as Wexner, the Wexner Medical Center. So they are putting X's over top the W, or they are completely brandishing out the name on of itself. So another W for us as individuals on the campus of the Ohio State University are letting their voices be known regarding Wexner's name appearing in the Epstein files. And yes, I said Epstein. Why? Because it's not a name like Voldemort. Fuck it. Harry Potter said Voldemort all the fucking time. Guess what? I'm saying Epstein. So guess what? Do your due diligence. We have other countries across the fucking world rounding up people who have been proven in the files to be heinous and sick individuals committing crimes against innocent children. Yet we can't even get this fucking country to get its fucking AG in fucking order without her bragging about how the Dow is up 50,000 fucking points and she's sitting there protecting fucking pedophiles.
I love that you brought that up, because one joke that I have been making all fucking week is that, because as most of y'all are probably aware, they arrested who used to be Prince Andrew. He abdicated his title, or it was stripped of him. I forget which one it is. He was already no longer a prince prior to his arrest, but now he's been arrested. And it wasn't even for Epstein. Like, that was more a catalyst. They arrested him for something else. But the joke that I've been making is that he used to be a prince. Now, when he meets his new cellmate, he's going to be someone's princess.
Yeah, and prisoners do not like pedophiles.
No. So have fun with that, Andy.
America, and I'm talking to the right wingers here and the fucking people in charge, get your heads out of your fucking asses and start making arrests and start charging people with fucking crimes.
Or at the very least, so let's be honest, let's call it what it is. The Epstein files is more of an accusation than anything. It is not. Some of it is proof, because there are videos and photos. Some of it is proof. A lot of it is documentation, which is essentially, legally speaking, hearsay. But that warrants an investigation, and that even is not happening. So at least give us that much.
Yeah. I love how not even a year ago this was a fucking Democratic hoax.
Which I will never ever understand the dragging of the goalpost back and forth, because 4 years ago it was protect our kids, and then it was release the Epstein files, and let's be real. Trump did not actually run on the Epstein files. When he was asked about it, he said, "I think I would release some of it. Some of it might be harmful to people," which, I'm sorry, that should have been a red flag right there. But he never enthusiastically said that he wanted to release it. But he did let his base run with that. He didn't stop them. And then he has been running from it, which is a weird visual with his fat ass, all fucking year. It's Pam Bondi said it was on her desk. Then she said there was nothing. Then we know that she told him he was in the files. And there's just been so much back and forth. And to any conservatives watching this, why do you let them lie to you?
Well, it's because they watch Fox News and that AON or OAN network. That's I mean, you come on, they fucking hired Hillbilly Vanilli to do a fucking halftime show.
I love that one. I don't know if I actually told this joke or not. There was a meme that was going around. They said the reason they like Kid Rock is because he has kid in his name, which I'm like, God damn. The other one was that from now on we're referring to Epstein Island as Kid Rock. Which,
and it tracks.
It does track. And again, I mean, let's not and again, the double standards, the goalpost moving. I saw somebody on the internet one time make a comment about, oh, he made that song 20 some odd years ago, which is true. It's not a recent song. But so if your argument was that, oh, he's not like that anymore, he's grown up, he's changed, he's yada, yada, yada. So why the fuck are y'all still talking about Biden and Robert Byrd? Like, be consistent. Because now we know, like, Robert Byrd actually, what's the word I'm looking for? He denounced what he used to believe long before he died. He did. Um, he admits that he believed some really shitty things before he died. So, but again, be consistent in your logic. If you believe that one person can change and evolve, then believe that about somebody else. Now, in Kid Rock's case, um, you might say that I'm being inconsistent with my logic. He never talked about it, to my knowledge. He released the song years ago, and he won't address it now. So, I
Well,
have
my
to.
my my opinion has stayed the same of him. He was a piece of shit then. He's still a piece of shit now. And Robert Ritchie Jr., if somehow this gets wind to you, come on, dude. I will. I have no problem meeting you in the middle of the fucking street anywhere. I don't give a fuck. You may kick my ass. I may kick your ass. I don't give a fuck. You're just a piece of shit. You're a dumb fucking cunt. And we have a song for that.
Also, did you see that weird workout video with him and RFK?
They're probably snorting cocaine off a fucking toilet seat before that happened. So
Actually, they might have been. RFK, they're working out in a sauna. The sauna's not on. There's no steam, nothing like that coming, which this video was already weird from jump. Why would you move like an exercise bike into a sauna? That's weird. And then RFK, I'll give credit where credit is due. He's in pretty good shape. You know, he actually looks like he could probably do a pull-up, unlike some other government officials. But he's working out in jeans and a belt. Like, what the yeah, that was the rest of our reaction. Like, what the fuck is this? But yeah, I was telling somebody the other day they were doing like a RFK impression, and I'm like, you didn't struggle nearly enough to get those words out to be RFK.
You know, I feel like he's singing the BTO song. You know, you ain't seen nothing yet, baby.
But we can finish on a more positive note. You actually mentioned Harry Potter a little bit ago, how he would say Voldemort's name all the time. Speaking of that, so Daniel Radcliffe has actually come out and made a comment on the fan casting for him as Wolverine, which, let me just say, I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I would actually love to see that. Wolverine in the comics is like 5'3". Daniel Radcliffe is 5'5", 5'6". In my book, close enough. Daniel Radcliffe grows a pretty impressive beard, so he could do the mutton chops. He really could. And he's shown himself to have a lot of range. You know, he can be a comedic actor. He can be a dramatic actor. I haven't seen him angry, and I would actually really love to see that. I think he can. He would have to put on about 30, 40 pounds to play Wolverine, 30, 40 pounds of muscle. But I think it is within his range. But he said he doesn't want to do it. And
yeah, I'm actually looking at the picture of the article you sent me. And
that picture is weird.
I have one problem with that. So with the hand up and the claws out, you do realize that's his left hand.
That's clearly not his hand at all.
No.
I actually have the article up over here, and weirdly enough, I do not see that they used that specific photo. Which, I'll go ahead and put it up here on the video for those of y'all who don't have a visual. But so I'll go ahead and put that up here. It's a really weird, really weird image. But
yeah, that's a left hand.
Yeah,
and it's over here. So he's either Mr. Fantastic and Wolverine combined with the, or he's holding his left arm in his right hand and holding it up.
Well, there is a universe where Wolverine lost his hand, so that's entirely possible. Which we got to look at that during Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes, we did.
That was the, I forget what it's called, but basically Apocalypse was ruling the world at that point.
Yeah.
And it would have been really cool if they could have got James Marsden for that, because for those of y'all who don't know the comic run, he cut Cyclops' eye out as the optic beam was active. So while he took Cyclops' eye, Cyclops took his hand. So that's actually really fucking cool. Um, but yeah, Daniel Radcliffe said that he does not want to play Wolverine, but he actually gave the best reason why is because Hugh Jackman is such a hard act to follow. And I'm not mad at him for that. I'm really not. You know,
Yeah, I mean, there goes my, my dream of having Hugh Jackman face off against Henry Cavill, face off against Daniel Radcliffe as Wolverine.
oh, and they can all do the
Yeah.
they can do the standoff. Um, which fun fact, apparently that was Andrew Garfield's idea to include that in No Way Home. That apparently was not part of the original script. Which
It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
it was, and I'm wondering why it wasn't part of the script. I am happy that somebody thought of it, and I'm happy that the filmmakers said go do it. But I'm surprised that the script writers didn't think of it. Just like apparently they felt it was too cliche to have when Stark was talking to Doctor Strange, nobody uttered the phrase "no shit, Sherlock." Apparently, they felt like that was too cliche, which okay.
It was needed. It was definitely needed.
And the snark fits both of their characters. Either of them could have said it, truthfully.
Yeah.
So,
Honestly, I felt it would have been better delivered by Benedict Cumberbatch to Robert Downey Jr. He said, "Yeah, no shit, Sherlock."
yeah. So actually, since we're talking about that, we can just do like an impromptu. It's not really a catastrophe, but kind of.
Okay.
But who do you think was the better Sherlock?
Well, Downey was theatrical. Cumberbatch was episodical.
True.
So, I mean, they were both great. Outright. Both absolutely phenomenal. And that's honestly a hard one because, again, one was episodical, one was theatrical. So the way the Guy Ritchie movies were done with Robert Downey Jr., brilliant, especially when they broke down the process of Sherlock's thinking.
Yeah, like in the opening scene when he's bare knuckle fighting the guy.
However, I feel due to the fact that you had Benedict Cumberbatch in the episodical versions of it, you were able to get more into the psyche of Sherlock Holmes, tattered, broken, flawed, so flawed that his analytical mind and logic tried to compensate for all his flaws, thus creating more flaws, particularly with human interaction and communication. So I'm going to have to give it to Cumberbatch only because it's it was an episodical, show that allowed for more development of the character, as to where the Downey Jr. movies, you had to go in what you were knowing of Sherlock with a few tweaks here and there through the course of two movies.
I think I'm going to agree with you, but I think I'm going to agree for slightly different reasons. So first of all, I agree with pretty much everything that you were saying. I love Robert Downey Jr. in the role. We absolutely deserved a third movie. I don't know why it didn't happen. It's actually one of the few roles in recent years Downey was truly acting. Because let's be real, I love him as Tony Stark. He's not acting very hard to play Tony Stark. He's really not. Which is partly why it's one of those things that feels like he was born to play that character. Which we could go down a whole other rabbit hole, like, oh, who was born to play this character, that character, which I will absolutely argue that Zachary Quinto was a fucking phenomenal Spock. But getting back on point, two of the main reasons that I think I would prefer Cumberbatch is I think that he's, number one, he's a more accurate Sherlock, because no other depiction shows that he does have a substance abuse problem. There was 1800, so I think it was cocaine that he was using.
Yeah, cocaine or opium, one of the two.
Yeah. So there are a couple of episodes where you actually do see him using. He doesn't seem to have an addiction in the TV show, but you still see him using. Secondly, I think he has better chemistry with Martin Freeman than what Robert Downey Jr. has with Jude Law. I think they have a better dynamic than what they had in the movies.
Yeah.
So
And that was another missed opportunity by Marvel. Because as you had Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law, Watson, Holmes and Watson, and you had Martin Freeman and Benedict Cumberbatch, Holmes and Watson, all within the same universe, and you didn't get all of them in the same room at the same fucking time.
although there's one other Watson that I'm glad never entered the picture with either of them, which was John C. Reilly.
I don't count that.
I don't think you're wrong for that. I don't think any of us really want to acknowledge that that movie happened. Although I would not be opposed to seeing them revisit the Nova Corps and Xandar. I think that.
Yeah, I think that's a missed opportunity there. At least that part of the universe.
I think the Nova Corps is going to come back. I think the Nova that we are most familiar with, which is Richard Rider, which fans jokingly love to call him Dick Rider. I think that he will come back. I think that Richard Rider Nova is going to resurface, not unlike Luke Skywalker for the Jedi. I think is what's going to happen. But yeah, so I can agree with that. That Benedict Cumberbatch is a better Sherlock. I just have different reasons behind my logic, but we can agree on who. Just we have different reasons for the why.
Yeah,
but
which is normal.
Yeah. I think that'll be a good point for us to go ahead and wrap up, though. So, as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Feel free to go look at our other socials. Feel free to go look at Valmont. We actually have a new short that just dropped a couple of days ago. So that was fun. That was a very fun one to write and to record.
And I'm going to have the next short finished today.
That one, I was talking to Damien about that one because I had to tell him about the little joke that we slipped in there because I'm not telling y'all what it is or nothing. There's 3 characters in the entire short. They are all 3 me. I wrote it. I voiced the entire fucking thing. And there's a little joke in there, which Family Guy had used the joke before I did, but it's still a good joke. But yeah, feel free to go ahead and check that out. As always, his Patreon is, I want to say, $1 a month. I understand This is a tight economy. Some people may or may not have it. But if you do have it, you can get a lot more access, including table reads, where you'll find out that while we are all adults, none of us are adults on purpose.
Yeah, and we actually have the next episode 5 of Valmont, the Black Raven Chronicles, dropping this Sunday, March 1st.
Hang on. Is it this Sunday? Yes, it is. Fuck. Yeah. Because February is a short month. I don't know what we're going to do with the live stream, considering nobody really commits to it, but we'll figure that out. If y'all can watch my personal TikTok for any updates on that. But yeah, feel free to go ahead and check that out. So episode 4 is coming, as well as the other stuff. And I would really love to be able to do these as a live stream. StreamYard will let us do it over on YouTube. I think YouTube and Facebook are the only 2 platforms. Maybe I can look into Streamlabs. I can look into that program too, because that actually lets you stream to TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. So I might look into that as well. But other than that, y'all have a good one. We will see you next Tuesday.
All right, be you.